Hey, welcome back. I'm going to talk about today the process I'm going through with my writing. I want to try the traditional route to see if my book's any good. I've sent it to some beta readers. I will try some more. We have a local writing group, which I'm going to have my first chapters critiqued. But my three books that are at the editors, like I said in the past, I think they're good. Of course, I'm biased because they're mine. But I have done the query letters, my bio, logline, synopsis, and the book blurb. And so I'm able, once those come back and I feel like they're good enough to send off, I will start querying agents. Now, one thing I have a problem with, which maybe you have a problem with, is perfectionism. I'm not a perfectionist, but there are many times that I don't want to send something out to the world unless it's perfect, because they're going to trash it. People are going to like it. People are not going to like it. The whole thing is that it's never going to be perfect. You're going to work your butt off to get it as good as you can, to get to the point you're like, I really like it. I think it's good. I think other people like it. They've told me they liked it. I think you have to decide, where are you going to say, I'm not going to keep trying to fix it. You could try to fix it for the next 5 years. You have to decide when your book is good enough to send the queries out. I'm going to put some things in the description that have helped me write my query letters and my synopsis. And then there's a place online that you can keep track of all the places you're going to query in these places, except Query Manager. I think that's what it is, but I'm going to put it in the description. But it makes it a little easier to query them all because it's going to give you exactly what they want. Everybody's a little different. So when you write your query letter, the letter part, which is going to go into one of those slots in what they're looking for, you're going to include, their name, your address, your address, their name, address, and then you're going to include, dear so-and-so, I would like to introduce you to my 60,000 word contemporary romance called Love, Life, and Triumph. And I think it would work really well with your whatever they publish. You can make them very personal, these letters, which would probably be good. Whatever they publish, my book is very similar to this author, this author, this author. I think it'd be a great addition for your readers. And then you're going to give your little book blurb. Melody's best-selling author. Husband leaves her for a younger woman. She must decide, find out what happened, where her life is going, where it went off the rails, and how to get it back to where she needs it to be. So she runs home, to cry at her mom's feet, whatever it's going to be. It's not going to tell you the end. It's just going to get you like, oh, this might be kind of interesting. Now, some of the major things, what's going to happen, but it's not a synopsis. It's just a book blurb like you read on the back of a book or the inside cover. You don't want to give it all away, but you also want to get the reader like, oh, I do want to know what happens to Melody. What happens to Melody? Is she gonna go back with her husband who left her for a younger woman? Is she gonna find someone else? Is she gonna, make herself a different person? Is she gonna fight this internal battle and then she's gonna fight this external battle with a divorce? And how they're gonna separate all the stuff? I mean, what's gonna happen? And so you want that book blurb to be interesting enough that they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to keep looking at this. I'm going to keep looking at this information this author has sent me. And then hopefully they're going to get to the synopsis at that point. Or they're going to have this interesting thing, the book blurb. Then you're going to have your biography at the bottom. I have written this book, I have this published, or I don't have anything published yet. Then you just tell about what you do. Like, I have a job as a special education teacher. I teach reading and writing. And I thought that learning to write a book would be really a fun activity for me to be able to show my students that, yeah, writing is hard. I understand writing is hard, because they look at me and they go, that's not hard. You do it all the time. You teach it all the time. Yeah, but personal creativity, creative writing is difficult. And I think it's good for them to know that. So then you're going to sign your name. Thank you so much for looking at this, or thank you so much for taking this time. Sign your name. That's your query letter. Then you're going to want your synopsis, which you're going to put in later in this little area that they've given you for their submissions. They're very, very specific, most of them. Then you're going to have your synopsis, which you're going to take your book, and you're going to take your 70,000, 80,000 word book, and you're going to condense it into 500 to 1,000 words. And you're going to tell the story real condensed. And so sometimes it's hard to condense that many words into so many less, but just take the essence of your story and break it down. Best-selling author, husband leaves her for a younger woman. She takes an internal look at what happened to her marriage. Was she responsible? Was he responsible? What is she going to do to pick up the pieces of her life? And then she's going to go on. And what does she do to pick up the pieces of her life? Oh, she decides to go, home, to have her mom cry on her mom's feet, and have her mom do stuff to help her feel better about herself. Then she's going to maybe come back stronger than she left, and take over, and the divorce is not going to go his way because she's gotten her strength back again, and she's going to take back her life. Now, what happens then? Then you got to tell the whole story. She took back her life and she met someone else, since it's a romance, met someone else, been madly in love, and now her life is much, much better than it was before her husband left her for the younger woman. Of course, we would hope it would be better, since we usually read to get a happy ending. I know there's a lot of things out there that aren't happy endings. I prefer happy endings myself. So, like I think I've said this before, write the book you want to read. If you want to read happy endings, write a happy ending book. If you want to read horror stories, write a horror story. If you want to read dramatic, sad, we don't know what's going to happen, left kind of hanging, then write that kind of story. Write the story you want to read, and you will be much happier with the process. It'll go faster. You'll enjoy it more. So with the querying, I'm going to leave, like I said, in the description, things that have helped me to figure this process out, and places you can go to look in how information and how you would write this. There's a lot of people with a lot of opinions. And you can also go to these companies like Upwork or Fiverr and find someone who will write it for you. Then you have to decide, do I like it? Do I not? Or maybe you have them write it for you. And then you get it back and you think, you're like, oh, I like it. But now I have a great template for writing the rest of mine, because now I know my bio's there, and this part up here can just change, and this middle part, the book blurb, can just change with whatever book you're presenting. That helps too, because then you've got a template. Or you could just have them write everyone. You can go to Fiverr and Upwork and have them do your query letter, have them do your everything, your biography. You're going to have to give them the information. By the time you give them the information, I think you could probably write it yourself, but they will do it for you. They will do the whole querying process for you, send everything you need to you if you want them to do it, which, might be a great idea. It's just going to cost you some. And if you're having your book edited, which I would highly recommend, of course, because you can't edit it yourself. You've read it so many times, you're sick to death of it. So send it to some new eyes, have them edit it. Even if you've got Grammarly Pro and you've pushed it through all of these wonderful programs that are going to fix everything, it's not going to fix your plot points, especially if you plot holes. It's not going to fix that stuff. So I would suggest hiring an editor. Fiverr, Upwork, one you find somewhere else. But find someone to help you with your book. Find someone to help you with everything if you have the money. If you're low on funds, then you'll have to do more yourself. But I would highly suggest you're going to have to find an editor. I mean, if you have a brother or sister who likes to read, maybe they would be willing to help you inline edit. I don't know. But you need to edit. So for query letters, you can hire somebody to write it for you, or you can go through all these different ideas that are online and all these different templates that you can just fill in yourself, which is going to be your cheapest option than hiring someone to do it. But if you go on Fiverr or Upwork or some of these other sites, there's people that are new that don't have enough reviews yet that are working pretty cheap until they get enough reviews to raise their price to what they're probably worth. And so that's not a bad deal for you if you are looking for someone to edit. You can find someone who's just starting, who needs reviews. They're helping you, you're helping them, and hopefully it's a positive experience for both of you. I know the person I used, or am using still, one book and I was like, I'm pretty impressed with this person. Definitely going to do it again. And so she's got 3 of my books now, and every time she sends them back and I read them, I think, such a good writer. It wasn't this good last time, but she is improving upon my writing. It's still my story, it's still my writing, it's still my voice, but she is improving it 1000%. So query letters, if you don't feel comfortable writing one after you look at all of this information and you look at the templates and you're like, oh, hire it out. I mean, like I said, you could probably find somebody who'll write you a query letter for $10 to $20 who's just starting out. And then you review them if they do a good job for you, and eventually they'll price you out of the market. You won't be able to hire them next time. So I'm thinking about the editor I'm using right now. Next time I want her, I'm not going to be able to afford her. So it's just real important, though, to make sure that you get this stuff done and you're not worried about it being perfect, because it will never be perfect. You just get it done to the best of your ability to where you feel like, I feel good about this. I think this is good. You've had a lot of beta readers. They feel good about it. And then you're going to just have to bite the bullet and send it out. And then, do you know what? You're going to get rejections, or you're going to hear nothing at all. And there's going to be people who like it. There's people who hate it. That's just the way it is with life. Not everybody loves Stephen King. Not everybody loves all these other authors, but they're still, they're still doing great. And so, not saying I'm going to be Stephen King, not even close, but I'm sure I'm going to find somebody who wants to read my books and enjoys them like I do. And that's what I'm looking for. So I just need to make sure I can get that query letter and all that information before they even look at the first 3 chapters of your book. That's all the information they're going to see first. And they might even say, I don't even, the log line, the synopsis, or the query letter, and then they're done. They're not going to look any further. So you want to make sure you put your best foot forward with every process you're doing, so that they will look at what you actually wrote, that you're proud of, that you want them to see. And hopefully they will take you on as a client and sell your book. That's the traditional way. I do not know how to do the self-published way, but I'm sure I will be able to find out. And that'll be in another video. I do have a writer in town. We have a writing group, and he has self-published 3 books in a science fiction series. And I don't even like science fiction, but I read the first one, and it's very good. And he went the self-published route. He didn't even attempt the traditional route. And some people say don't attempt the traditional route because it takes too much time, and even if you get your book published, you're not going to make as much money as you take if you take the self-published route. So everyone has their own opinion. I would like to do the traditional route. I know this is silly, but my dream would be to walk in a library and see my book on the shelf, or not on the shelf because someone checked it out. Now, I know that's a huge, huge dream, which may never happen, but it's better to aim high and just hit a little lower than just aim low and definitely hit. So have a great day. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you have any questions that I can answer, I don't know that much yet. I'm working my way through this whole writing process, but I would love to answer any questions you have if I can. And you can look at the resources I put into the description. But have a wonderful day and enjoy your writing. Write the book you want to read. Doesn't matter what other people want to read. Write the book you want to read, and then other people will want to read it. Thanks so much. Bye.